So it's the 9th of May, so I thought I'd just take you a little tour around the woodland garden that we have at the side of the house, because things are starting to happen out here now. So if I just walk down here, first of all, I've actually got this holly. It used to be on the drive, so it's in a pot. I may well choose to plonk that in the ground, but for now it's still in its pot. This holly has never had berries on it. Not sure whether you actually get varieties of holly that don't have berries, or we need a male and a female holly to get berries. I'll need to look that up, or if anyone knows, give me a shout. But it's nice, it's variegated leaves, and particularly the young leaves are nice and limey coloured, nice and bright, so I like this. Not very pleasant, but there's 3 tyres there. I've always meaning to do something with them, maybe create them into a planter or whatever. Not done anything yet. I was wondering actually if I could put some rhubarb in there. Now I know some people say that, well, rightly say that chemicals can leach out of tyres, but I think that's happens over a long period of time when the tyres break down. So I imagine they're still okay for growing food in, but if not, I can always just put some plants in, pop the tyres somewhere and put some plants in. Here's one of the 2 sycamores that are in the front or in the side woodland garden. I don't know how old it is, it's very old. And then here's a clump of comfrey flowering. The insects love it. There's a bee in there already. It is a bit of a blustery morning actually, so I'm not anticipating seeing lots of insects around. It was gorgeous yesterday, but the temperature's taken a bit of a plummet. There's the other sycamore. Gorgeous. Great thing about sycamores, and there's one in the back garden that actually shows this even better, but their bark, it peels off, and there's lots of little insects and things underneath. So you get things like tree creepers wandering up and down it, helping themselves to the insects. And if I just look behind me, here's my stumpery. So, aka my collection of logs that I've plonked together and put some ferns in. And also this plant, which I can't for the life of me remember what it is, but it seems to be quite happy here. There's actually also a sapling here that actually might be growing off one of the logs. Don't want any more of that. And there is something that will tell you what the 3rd tree in the woodland garden is. It's this guy here, a very, very large Scots pine, which drops cones and all sorts all over the place. That's one of the reasons it's really useful to have wood chip on the ground here. I tried various things, but because it's a relatively small area and it's got 3 huge trees and they're forever dropping things, it's easier just having wood chip on the ground. There's a tail end of some daffs that popped up, and here we have 3 rhododendrons starting to do their stuff. That yellow one is cracking, isn't it? It's lovely and bright. And then there's a white one behind, just about to come into full flower. And then we have this one here, which is a sort of pinky purple colour. and there's loads of buds on it, so we're going to get lots of flowers. With rhododendrons, the amount of buds you get is related to how good an autumn they have. If it's a nice moist autumn, you get lots of buds the next spring and lots of flowers. And I'm in the west of Scotland, so generally it is moist and wet in the autumn, so rhododendrons tend to do quite well here. And just behind, I just sort of plonked these in because I have so many of them. There's a couple of poppies. There's one there, as you can see, is about to burst into life. Need to do a bit of weeding at the back there. Moving over to this corner, just some shrubs that I popped in, can't tell you what they are. They are sort of dwarf variety, they've been that size really for a number of years. There's some other holly actually. There is holly rumbling around underneath all of this wood chip, and it pops up here and there. And this runnera, Jack Frost, is awesome. Cracking flowers and beautiful foliage. That euphorbia just came back itself. It's obviously been there and decided to reappear. The house is built on the grounds of an old cottage hospital, and so there's a lot of that's why there's so many trees actually in my garden, both in the woodland garden here and in the main garden. And there's all sorts of other shrubs that make a reappearance. I don't mind the euphorbia. It's when it flowers like this, it looks quite stunning. And then over here I used to have a formal raised bed and with a few shrubs in it, and then I put comfrey in. And I soon learned how comfrey likes to spread. But you know, comfrey's so useful in the garden, and actually my previous video, the one before this one, is a video on how to make comfrey fertiliser. So I'm quite happy to have all of this comfrey here now. Do get the odd cleavers, or in Scotland we call this sticky willy, because it just sort of sticks to your clothes. So yeah, we've got a bit of this that stoats about through the plants, and then there's a few other shrubs that really are getting overtaken by the comfrey, so I should really get round to digging out and moving somewhere. And then over at the end here, there's a little Christmas tree. Actually, I got that as a little potted tree, and I've just popped it in here. Hey, I know I've got lots of trees already, but I don't think this is going to grow very fast. And yeah, didn't want to just sort of bin it after I'd had it at Christmas. It's live, and I want to keep it live. So that's just about it, except for this bed here. So we've got ivy, which is great, starting to cloak that fence, and a few other bits and pieces. We've got this Solomon seal, and that's interesting looking flowers along the leaf. And then we have something again whose name escapes me, but is doing very well here, thank you very much. It's this guy here. I'm really not sure what it is, and it has lots of yellow flowers which have just been and gone. You can see the remains of one there, and a few daffodils were in there also. So yeah, this is my little woodland garden, and I'm very pleased with it. So I'll finish up for now. If you've liked this video, please give me a thumbs up. Share it with anyone you think might enjoy it. Subscribe if you haven't already subscribed, and click the alert button if you want to see any other videos that I post. Thanks very, very much for watching. I'll talk to you again very soon. Bye bye.